everybody, and welcome to another episode of Guys on Gaffr. My name is Joel, and we have got David with us. And for a change, we have got a guest on the show with us today. Another Scandinavian, probably one of the best Gaffr managers out there at the moment. 9th at the moment, 5th last season, doing quite well in Super League as well. We have got Alfred. You may know him as Marcelito on Twitter. How are you, Alfred? Welcome to the pod.
Yeah, thank you. I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, doing well. And how's things going, David?
Yeah, I'm alright. It's nice to be podding again.
Yes. So we are recording ahead of double game week 44. I was about to say the last double game week of the season, but we actually do have the Bournemouth Forest game in game week 45 as well, so there are 2 doubles left. And we have hit the home stretch in our Gaffr season. So what we're going to talk about today is just a few of the teams that we probably don't talk about very often that are doubling. So Barnsley, Blackpool and Swansea are going to be the main focus. I'm going to then take your guys' questions. But before we do that, Alfred, as you're on the pod, how have you found Gaffr this season, both the Championship game and the Super League game? Tell us a bit about yourself as well, like what other fantasy games do you play? Yeah.
I really enjoyed it this year too. I like the fact that you can get points from more places than in FPL, and I'm really enjoying it because I play a bunch of different formats, and it's nice with the change. I play Swedish one, Norwegian one, Scottish one, MLS, Champions League, and Bundesliga, and a few more. So I play a lot of different scoring systems, and I think it really helped me to make me a better manager.
That's cool. And where does Gaffr rank then among all the other games? Is it right up there as one of your favourites, or would you put something else kind of up there?
It's definitely in the top half of, like, I think I play about 10 games, and I would probably rank it the 3rd or 4th.
Nice. So. Yeah, it's good fun. It is good fun. And so, yeah, Alfred is 9th. Where are you hoping to get to this season? Obviously, you're right up there. So
5th.
Top 5. So 2 top 5s in a row. That would be a pretty incredible record to have. I think George came top 10 last year as well, didn't he? And he's top. Yeah. Is there anyone else who might get 2 top 10 finishes in a row? I'm trying to remember.
Irons, did he finish top 10? Irons?
I think he did. I think he's definitely. Yeah, I think he did. So there you go. Probably the best Gaffr managers after 2 seasons are probably those 3. Not for me this year. No top 10 for me, unfortunately. Sad times. Long way off it. But yeah, it's an exciting end to the season. I think George is going to win it. He's got a 40-point lead at the moment with only 3 game weeks left. There are a couple that still have boosts though, so you never know. But they're probably a bit too far back. But anyway, as usual, let's have a look at our teams. And actually, Alfred, yours is up first. So talk us through your week this week. It's, I believe, not the best of weeks for you. There's a very notable player on your bench this week.
I was between benching either Brennan or Medine because I've just bought Medine and he's playing against Birmingham and he's a striker, apparently not nailed. I wanted to start him and it obviously didn't go well. But other than that, I'm pretty happy. Let me just check.
Yeah, 6-1 win for Blackpool, and Medina only getting some minutes off the bench is a bit annoying.
He only got 10 minutes, but he did win a pen. So I guess you could say I was lucky in that sense. But he could have also started and got more. My VC punt didn't really work out on Bessie, and
Yeah, you're not the only one who's done that this week.
Because there's one guy in the top 10 that didn't have him, and I also got Bree versus McNamara right, so that was okay.
Yeah, that's
Not the best, not the worst.
Yeah, it's not been a particularly high-scoring week. I guess we'll see what Mitrovic does. I mean, he's already scored tonight as we record. So,
Yeah, that was good.
yeah, we'll see if Fulham can wrap up promotion tonight. It's looking like they will. So, yeah. Okay, so that's Alfred's team. David, your team is next.
Yeah, I'm I've started Johnson, so I'm I'm already happy. But like yeah, I think it's been a good week. I don't know if what is actually a good score this week because like my game week rank is 500 something right now, but it's not accounted for Mitrovic's goal as of now. But yeah, I think I'll be inside the top 100 still. I feel like that's like my season goal now, because I've had such a long stretch like being just outside. Like I had I think we talked about this before, but I had like 4 gray arrows on 113. So like anything but that. So yeah, I'm on 98th at the moment. So if I come inside the 100, that would be yeah, nice. And I think the main highlight this week must be like I don't have like more bench points than the ones I started instead. That's the main thing.
Yeah, it's become a bit of a joke. David's bench
Yeah,
points. I mean, how many points did you have on the bench last week? Did you say it was like 27 or something?
yeah, 27, Bassi 10, Naismith 11, Ekpeta 6. And
Ouch.
and the worst thing was like I talked about this like anything in group chats or something like you can't get worse than this, right? Because like I had 40 points or something on the bench like the last 3 game weeks, and then like the next game week I almost matched that in like 1 week. So yeah, I'm just happy I didn't choose the wrong ones again because like Baker and Bassi has been like the worst headache I've had like
Yeah.
ever in the fantasy game. I think it's so 50-50 that you can't like get it right every time.
It is just a bit random, isn't it, when those sorts of players return? I mean, Baker's been. I mean, when I remember looking at him ahead of one of their doubles a few weeks ago, and like his heat map was just nothing. Like he wasn't really getting in that advanced positions, and he just kept returning every week. And it's like, yeah, frustrating.
His returns are just long shot or pen or corner assist. So
Yeah,
he's not really a like attacking play. A Swift, a worse Swift.
yeah. Set pieces count for a lot, I guess. We do have to factor that into our fantasy decisions, but yeah, it's annoying. Yeah. Okay, my team 61 points. I think that's a one place red arrow from 74th to 75th. Obafemi's finally done something. I've had him for 2 or 3 game weeks now. So it's nice that he's finally kind of contributed. Fairly standard across the board. Obviously, this is without the Fulham points tonight. Did bench Garner, which was unfortunate, and played O'Hare. I think that's probably in hindsight not a great decision on my part. I think obviously the fixture for Coventry was tough, and maybe O'Hare's returns were not going to be sustainable. And we know how good Forest are at home. I think that's the main thing. Forest at home can be absolutely relentless, and with him on set pieces and stuff, maybe it was a bad decision. Who knows? And I also, by the way, sold Morgan Gibbs-White for Bassi, which was kind of based off of Sheffield United's form, but yeah,
I
that
think
punished me.
the first one was maybe because you benched O'Hare's returns a lot of times, and you a little bit of that. But I think
Yeah.
the second decision was a fair one because Bassi was playing one of the worst teams at home.
Yeah, and a double next week. It made sense to do it now. So yeah, it's a shame it didn't come off. But yeah, I do agree with your point on O'Hare. Like I have benched his return. I think I have benched like all his returns, and he's blanked every time he's been in my team apart from once. So I think there was a psychological aspect to it there for sure. And yeah. Anyway, never mind. So down to 75th, and I don't really have a goal now for the rest of the season because I've just hovered between 70 and 80 for weeks now. Some of you might have seen my tweet the other day. A bit bored of hovering between 70 and 80 and nothing happening to my rank at all.
You decided to make a move that could get you less points than you did. So it's more exciting now. It's horrible.
I think the phrase is on the beach. I'm on the beach with my Gaffr season. So, I'm a Preston. I'm a Swansea, throwing away a 4-1 lead, that sort of thing. I feel like only teams on the beach would do that. Okay, so that's my team, and that is all our teams. So let's go on to talk about Double Game Week 44. So the teams that double, so we won't talk about all the teams because, some of the teams we have talked about loads all season, and we all know who the best assets are. So Barnsley play Huddersfield away, Blackpool at home. Blackpool play Luton away, Barnsley away. Bournemouth play Fulham at home, Swansea away. Not a particularly easy double. Cardiff play Sheffield United away, Middlesbrough away. That's a tough double. Fulham play Bournemouth away, Forest at home, and Borough play Swansea away, Cardiff at home. And there's one more. Swansea play Middlesbrough at home, Bournemouth at home. So those are the teams that double. I think a lot of us will probably have at least 8 or 9 already in our teams and may have been planning towards it for a little while. But actually, I'm going to come to you first on this, Alfred, because you've got one boost left, haven't you? So, talk us through what boost are you planning on playing?
I will definitely be playing Jeepers Keepers. I have been planning it since, I played my second boost. So I got Grimshaw in to prepare for that, to also free up money because it was really cheap. And then he got injured because I was also planning to rotate him more because he had Birmingham, Moore had Bournemouth. Obviously, he got injured. So now I have to sell both of them for 2 doubling keepers. So that's what I'm going to do. Do you want me to go through?
Yeah.
Now?
So one of the questions someone asked was it AD or was it someone else, David?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
I can check.
Yeah, I think it was AD. Yeah, who asked who are the best Jeepers Keepers options for Double Game Week 44.
Yeah.
So you might as well address this right off the bat. You will have looked into this as you're playing the boosts, whereas I haven't looked at it because I played it ages ago. What are your thoughts then?
So I can just hover over all the options pretty quickly. Swansea play Borough and Bournemouth, 2 teams that like to shoot a lot, and it's definitely a good. I think it's Fisher in goal. He's definitely a good option. Forest play Peterborough and Fulham away, so 2 away games. One against Fulham, I think that's also a good option.
Definitely.
Middlesbrough, not the best with Swansea away and Cardiff at home. They don't really shoot too much. They're probably in the lower half of shooting. And then Fulham have Bournemouth and Nottingham, but I think we all have 3 Fulham mids or defenders or attackers. Yeah. Well, my conclusion is that Cardiff play Sheffield and Borough away, and they are in the top 5 for shooting on goal and just outside of goal. And Cardiff aren't the best defensively; they're probably in the middle. So Phillips is probably a top 2 option, and I think Travers with Bournemouth has Fulham at home, and even though they have pretty good conceded XG. Bournemouth, they are pretty good in defense. It will still be a tight game where Fulham will try to attack and shoot a lot. So, and Swansea, they're okay, but it's not the best game for shooting. But I still think the Fulham game makes it worth it. Then Blackpool and Barnsley are also good options, but they are less predictable because they play teams that are probably at their level. So. Well, maybe Luton and Huddersfield are a little bit better, but it's still unpredictable. So I think Travers and Phillips will be my 2.
That's interesting. I think there's a lot of good options there. Looking at the fixtures, I would agree with you on Cardiff. I think those fixtures stand out as kind of high volume of shots. I mean, Middlesbrough are going to go into that game thinking they have to win as well if they're going to keep up their playoff push, because they've hit a really rough patch form-wise. I would have potentially gone for Collins of Barnsley just because Huddersfield is a tougher game than I guess we would have thought. They're flying high at the moment. It's just that Blackpool game, isn't it? You don't know whether he's going to get the saves in that Blackpool game. But Barnsley again they're in a must-win situation now. Otherwise they're down, so it could well be a quite open game in those instances.
Yeah, that's true. It's true. I think it's Walton in goal now. Collins is, I think, ruled out for the rest of the season.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. That's interesting. Well, he'll be a lot cheaper than Collins. So that's good.
Saying that, I think if you don't want Travers, then probably Swansea, because Borough and Bournemouth, and then what you said about Swansea being a beach, I think Swansea is a top 3 option, and then just behind probably Walton for Barnsley.
Yeah, completely agree with that. What would you say, David? I think I'm in agreement with Alfred there.
Yeah, I think I echo your thoughts. I think it's like I think Jeepers Keepers is one of the most interesting chips because there's so many things that impact if it's going to go well or not. Particularly if you're facing a team that are taking many shots, but if your keeper isn't good enough to save those shots, you don't get any saves and they just concede lots of goals. So the thing that makes it difficult is like probably most of the keepers in the championship aren't like top tier goalkeepers anyway, if they're playing for the good teams. So the difficult thing is like, do you pick a goalkeeper for a team that's better but don't get as many shots facing them, or like a bad keeper that's facing lots of shots but probably won't save them? So it's a very big luck element in it. But I think especially Barnsley, like having their such a desperate situation will probably lead to like they're like taking more chances and maybe like get countered more. So I think that would be a factor. And even like I don't even know if this is a thing, but like if they take more desperate tackles, do they concede more penalties? Is there more chances for a penalty save keeper?
Interesting hypothesis.
The worst teams are probably the worst defenses are probably more likely to. And if you play a better team, probably more likely to concede a penalty.
Yeah. So I think getting a play for those teams right now at least is a good play, and not like getting. I've had Rodak on Jeepers Keepers, and he did okay, but I think you have to factor in many things to decide. But I think the ones you have talked about are good options.
I don't hate Rodak actually if you don't have 3 Fulham, to be fair. With those 2 fixtures, 2 quite attacking teams, I think you're probably not going to get the volume of saves of some of the others, but I don't hate it. I think a lot of it depends on budget as well, because like if you're struggling for budget, you're going to go Walton of Barnsley, 4 million. But if budget's no issue, then yeah, I think is it Fisher for Swansea is probably worth going up to. Yeah, I think that probably exhausts Jeepers Keepers. That's good. So let's talk about. You'll have noticed on the screen there's a few stats for Obafemi, Pirro, and Patterson. Some of us probably have one Swansea attacker by now because they've been in the goals quite a bit recently. But I thought it was quite interesting because recently a few people have been bringing in Obafemi, a few people have been bringing in Pirro, and I wasn't really sure who was better. I didn't really have an eye test because I haven't seen a lot of Swansea recently. I just thought it'd be good to look into some of the stats. If you're thinking of bringing in, a Swansea attacker this season, in particular a striker, who looks the best. So, as you'll see, there is a sea of green in the column for Pirro. For goals, assists, goal involvement, shots, and shots on target. He actually comes out on top of every metric. So the stats suggest that Pirro should be your pick. And also bearing in mind that Pirro is on penalties. But it isn't that... Obafemi's not that far behind, though. So, for example, goals per 90 is 0.57 for Perot, 0.54 for Obafemi. So there's nothing in it really in terms of goals per 90. Assists per 90, Perot has been a bit more creative, 0.14 per 90 compared to 0.05 per 90. So that's 1 in 20 for Obafemi effectively, and around 3 in 20 for Perot. And then so that leads us to a total kind of goal involvement per 90 of 0.71 for Perot, 0.59 for Obafemi. In terms of shots, again, Perot is taking more shots, but not by an awful lot compared to Obafemi. 2.68 compared to 2.33, and then shots on target of 1.34 compared to 1.14. So you'll be able to see that on the table on the screen. And yeah, so I think that suggests Perot is better. What do you guys think about Patterson though? Because actually, on a lot of the stats, he is significant, apart from assists, where he's kind of averaging just over 1 in 4, an assist in every 4 games. He lags behind, and he only kind of averages 1.3 shots per game. It's not that many. Do you think Patterson is... He's in a lot of teams, but if you don't have him, do you think he's one that you can ignore?
Yeah, I think you can ignore him because there are a lot of good mids currently. Johnson, Bassi, Carvalho, Wilson, Christie even, and yeah. So if you need to bring one in, like if you want to bring a Swansea attacker in, I think it's Pirro or Obafemi. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so too. And his minutes have been... It's been weird. He's been benched kind of really randomly. Like, I know he was coming back from injury at one point, but it's been a bit bizarre.
Could still be the injury, like haunting him.
Yeah, it could be. So Patterson is definitely kind of someone who... I mean, I don't hate people buying him, but you may not kind of particularly want to look at. Perot is an annoying one for me because I had him, like... I don't know if you remember the period, kind of... It was like game week 30 odd, where we had the FA Cup blank game week, and only a few teams were playing. One of them was Swansea, and I had like Christie and Pirro in my team, and they did absolutely nothing for all those weeks leading up to and including 30, and then afterwards started doing quite well when I got fed up with them and got rid of them. So
yeah, I remember you were so salty about Christie. Like, yeah,
that's unbelievable. I benched one of his hauls. I didn't have him when he got like 24 points. Yeah.
I think Swansea had a double. I can't remember when it was, but I didn't have Pirro, and a few had him captain, and I think he got 2 points over 2 games because of the yellow card and 1 benching. So
yikes.
Troll status confirmed. They've been so inconsistent, Swansea. I think we can see that they are a very strong attacking team at times when they're all firing, and they're all fit. And Obafemi has come into... I think since Obafemi has come into the team, they've got even better as well. But yeah, it's they are 2 tough games though, Middlesbrough and Bournemouth. So it could end in tears. It could end in tears with these guys.
Yeah, I think it's funny, like how different it is with us considering playing for Swansea this season than last season. Because like it was all about the wing backs last season, and like they were almost like, if you can call it essential. But it's we're not looking at all at them. It seems like so. Yeah, I don't know what's happened, but maybe they have switched the tactics a bit this season.
Yeah, the 2 up top and kind of Patterson in behind now. Seems to be.
I think Wolf is a good option. Even I don't know if he's playing left wing back, but I think he's having good numbers in shots and key passes.
Yeah, I think he's popping up with quite a few assists, isn't he? And he's.
But I don't
creator.
think he's better than the other top of game weekers.
Is he 7 million? I think he's 7 million.
Yeah.
6.9.
Yeah. I don't hate it, but I don't love it either. I probably won't.
I don't think he has set pieces either. So.
Yeah, fair.
Not the best.
That's probably Swansea covered then. So, okay, Barnsley and Blackpool are the other 2 teams that kind of have some reasonable fixtures in there. So like they play each other in the midweek, and then Barnsley have Huddersfield away. Blackpool have Luton away, which is not an easy. So two kind of fairly tough fixtures. Blackpool are very much on the beach, but we've just seen them beat Birmingham 6-1. If you were to pick one option from Blackpool, who would you guys pick?
I already have picked one, so I will just say that one. I don't know how we say his name, but Ekpieta.
Ekpiteta?
Ekpieta, yeah. He's scoring goals for some reason, so get him.
For that, David, that's pretty lucky. Have you benched his goals? You did, didn't you? You benched his goal last week.
Yeah, I think so. Maybe I think I got one of them, and then the other was on the bench.
If we look at who actually returned in the 6-1 while it loads, I remember looking at the score and like looking at some of the players and was like, who's that? Okay, so Kenny Dougal got a goal and an assist. So I remember watching the League One playoff final last season, and I think he scored both goals. And I remember the commentator saying like it was the only 2 goals he's scored all season or something. So probably don't look at Kenny Dougal, but he got a 15-pointer. And then like who on earth's Beasley who got a brace?
I don't know.
Is it? Oh wait, is it that American guy, or is it? Do I have think completely wrong here?
It's not the FIFA guy.
Okay.
No, it's not. I think he's about 50 or 45.
Right.
I'm looking at the Gaffr formation for. They must have played such an attacking team. The Gaffr formation is 3-3-4 with like Anderson, Beasley, Hamilton. I don't even know who Hamilton is. He got a goal and an assist, and then Lavery, all playing in that game. So
the thing is, I don't think any of the strikers are nailed. Maybe Anderson, but yeah, because Bowler looked pretty good for a while, but now he's not nailed anymore. So, and neither is Medine or Lavery or Yates. So my pick would also be Ekpiteta because he seems to have some goal threat, and well, he could get like 2.5.
Yeah, he could. I think I'm going to avoid though, to be honest, because I can see them conceding in both games, and like you say, no one's nailed in the forward spots.
Yeah, it's weird like when the teams you think were like lower down in the table are like rotating like they're like Manchester City, but it seems to be working for them. So
yeah, I mean, there could be another crazy result where they score 4 or 5 just purely because they're on the beach. I think yesterday's games were just kind of a prime example of what happens towards the end of the season where you just get bizarre results. I remember there was one game last season where Blackburn they put 7 past someone and like Armstrong got a hat trick and something like that.
Yeah.
You know, so we've seen a 4-4 yesterday and we've seen a 6-1 Blackpool against Birmingham. So, you know, there's going to be some bizarre hauls that some people are just going to randomly pick up, I think. But
yeah, it's like you can't even predict it because like it's about if it's 2 teams that are on the beach are facing each other, it's like which team is less on the beach than the other one,
yeah.
and they're like having fun and just playing because they have nothing to lose.
Playing with no pressure. Let's talk about Barnsley briefly then. So they've got Huddersfield away, Blackpool at home. Yeah,
very much something to lose.
So they are. I looked at the table last night. I think they need to win all their games. I think they're 10. It was something like 10 points, 10 or 11 points behind Reading with 4 games to go. Basically, they need to win all their games and hope Reading lose all their games. So they're good as gone, but they might as well go for it against Huddersfield. I don't think we're going to look at their defence, are we? But Bassi is turning into quite a popular pick because of his creativity. Do you guys own him? I own him.
Yeah, I got him early for like the doubles. I don't know if it's like 7 games before, and he's done alright, but like he's been a nuisance for me. So I'm starting him this week at least. So that's confirmed.
And you have him as well, Alfred. Is that right?
Yeah, I bought him this week and vice captain him. Didn't go too
Yeah,
well,
me too.
but I have him for next week anyway.
Yeah, trying to catch that Peterborough game was a good shout, I think, but ultimately hasn't paid off. So I think if you haven't got Bassi yet, it's probably not too late. He is still a really good option. Okay, so what about Carlton Morris then? Because he's the other person that quite a few people have been looking at. Ultimately, it's a Barnsley striker, and striker spots are kind of precious at the moment. Alfred, what do you think about Morris? Do you think he's still a good option, or do you think he's one to avoid?
No, I do think he's a good option. He is starting all the games. He's playing a lot of minutes. He's having, I think he's having a lot of shots. He's doing well for bonus too. And I guess it's between him and Pirot and Obafemi if you want a third striker. And I don't think he's a bad option, especially with the game in 45. I think he has a good fixture too.
Preston at home.
Preston at home. That's pretty good because they're on the beach too. So no, I think he's definitely an option, and I would rather have him over a Blackpool striker, and probably a Borough striker too, and yeah, Davis is a doubt. So yeah, I don't think he's bad at all.
Yeah, actually, Cooper said that Keenan Davis is probably out for the rest of the season. I don't know if that means playoffs or not. It's a hamstring injury, and obviously it's not a massive injury, but there's only 2 or 3 weeks left of the season, which is kind of how long hamstring injuries can be anyway. So yeah, if you're looking to move him on, Morris is potentially a good option. I just saw that Morris actually did get 2 bonus points against Peterborough despite losing 2-0. So that does speak volumes. That will be coming from shots on target, won't it? And maybe the odd key pass. But yeah, it's looking like Morris is still a decent option then for this double. You mentioned Middlesbrough strikers. They're not nailed, are they? It's between Connolly and Sporar. Connolly seems to be starting a bit more, doesn't he?
Is Balogun not nailed?
I think he was on the bench in the last game. I could be wrong. It's probably worth checking
because
that.
he was scoring I think every game like 5 games ago. But maybe he's gone off form now.
Yeah, I mean Middlesbrough I think they've scored none in their last 4, and yeah, in the last game against Huddersfield, I'm just getting it up now. I believe he was benched, but let me just check. Yeah, it was Watmore and Sporar. So they're probably in a void. They've got 2 decent fixtures from an attacking standpoint, though. They've got Swansea away, Cardiff at home. Cardiff they've got nothing to play for. Neither does Swansea. Both teams are conceding goals. If there's ever a time for them to kind of get back in and amongst the goals, it's here. So do you think there are any other options? What about Tavernier?
Yeah, I saw something about him being injured. I don't know. And I think Crooks is suspended for like 2 games because I think he has like 20 yellow cards or 15.
Crazy. I think it's 15.
So maybe that makes, I don't know, maybe it makes Watmore more nailed. And I think he's probably not on pens anymore. But I think Watmore is decent. And maybe Tavernier if he's fit.
Potentially Isaiah Jones as well as a cheap one, but I don't love it, to be honest. He's nailed. He's almost nailed.
I saw like before this game week, I think it was Angus that posted his team, and he maybe it was 2 weeks ago, but he has gotten in a midfielder for Middlesbrough that's called McGree.
I know nothing about him.
Yeah, because he said like he would play because of those injuries that you just talked about. Alfred.
It's the Australian guy that played for Birmingham. I think he's more of a box-to-box midfielder. I don't think he did very well when he was. I think he's a like 4.4 mid. I think he was a budget buster contender earlier.
Okay.
I don't think he's very good.
Middlesbrough are going to need to, find a way of creating enough chances to score. I mean, yeah, they've blanked in 4 of their last 5 games. Albeit there were some tough fixtures in there. They have played Fulham, Bournemouth, and Huddersfield in that time, and Millwall. But the playoff, I think they're 3 points behind. Yeah, 3 points behind Sheffield United. with a game in hand. But yeah, they're going to need to probably get, I don't know, maybe 9 points out of 12 to get the playoffs. That last playoff spot is really tricky. Shall we move on to questions? I feel like we've probably covered all the teams because there was a question on this, I believe, from Angus.
Yeah, we can start with Angus. He has 2 questions, and he says, which player are people going to sell now because of doubles with potentially coming to regret, it? Gibbs White, for example.
Gibbs White, for example. He's...
is that like a dig at you? I don't know.
I don't think he meant it as that, but you know, maybe he did. Maybe he did. It wouldn't surprise me. But yeah, yeah. I mean, Gibbs White is a good example of someone who you could sell. I mean, their doubles are finished. They're struggling without Sharp up front to score goals, and they're hanging on to that 6th place by a thread. So yeah, I mean, you could get rid of him, get rid of him at your own risk. I'm trying to think. Do you guys have any other ideas?
No, I was gonna say he's probably the only example, but I think a lot. I don't think anyone's gonna play him, though. And 2 fixtures is always better than 1.
I'll have him, but I'll have him on the bench. I'm pretty sure.
I'm just looking at the fixture ticker and trying to find a team that's got popular assets.
If you have,
go on.
I think if you have Berta, I might sell him.
Oh really? Yeah, because I was thinking about buying him, but like that was a week ago or something, and I didn't. And I bought Obafemi, so that made more sense since it doesn't have double anyway. So yeah.
Preston, Bournemouth, Birmingham are the last 3 fixtures. They're not bad. They're not bad.
But
I think I might regret this because like I got rid of Solanke some weeks ago, and he could like just go mad. And I think he scored last this week as well. So it's just, do I have the players that can like make it up over the more games they have compared to him?
Yeah, I think the other ones you could sell are Coventry players now. They've got West Brom away, Huddersfield at home, Stoke away. They are 4 points behind Sheffield United. So like, they are kind of in must-win territory, but they're not easy games. So I think you could potentially sell any Coventry assets, particularly defensively. Like if you've got rotation with another keeper, there's not really any point using a precious transfer on that. But if you're looking to maybe, let's say, have quite a lot of cash in the bank and you've got a Coventry defender, you could look to sell. I mean, I know you've had Kane at one point, didn't you, Alfred? Do you still have him, or have you sold him? You still have him. I feel like he could go. He's not even not completely nailed.
He's 3rd on my bench, and I'm gonna have 11 doublers, so I don't need to sell him.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
I also had him in my team for loads of this season. I think I had him on Budget Buster way back and just had him in my team. And he's done okay, but like he's lost his place. And then suddenly he was playing. But if you look at the FootMob app, he was like playing attacking midfielder. But I'm not sure if that was correct.
Right wing back, I think. And then Dabo is obviously his competition. Who I think, is he injured? Dabo actually.
He's a doubt. He was a doubt for the weekend, and George told me I think it was a joke, but he was going to start him. So I think he did start against Bournemouth, but he probably got 1 point because Bournemouth won 3-0.
Yeah. And then what was the second part of the question?
Yeah, that's more relevant. Does anyone actually want the final playoff place?
Doesn't look like it, does it?
No.
Who do you guys think is going to finish 6th then? So we've got Sheffield United on 66, 3 to go. Millwall 65, 3 to go. Blackburn 63, 3 to go. Middlesbrough 63, 4 to go. QPR 63, 3 to go. Coventry 62, 3 to go. I could keep going further down, but I think I'll stop there.
Yeah, it's so open. What do you think, Alfred?
I'm looking at fixtures and I'm thinking probably I don't think Blackburn have the depth to do it. I think even if Sharp is out, I think Sheffield are gonna like just about take it because they do still have pretty decent strikers. Yeah, so I think Sheffield will take it.
I'm going to go a little out there. It's a bit of a bold shout, but I'm going to say Millwall. They have got Birmingham away, Peterborough at home, Bournemouth away. If Bournemouth happen to have wrapped up automatic promotion by that point, they could maybe sneak. I can see them getting 7 points out of their last 3 games. 2 wins and a draw.
Just a side note, I think Jed Wallace is injured. So
Ooh, that's the mouth out of it then.
Imagine Millwall in the playoffs, though. Imagine Millwall in the Premier League. No thanks.
No way.
No thanks.
That would be so bad. Like automatic relegation again.
But Angus is right with the way he's framed the question, because the form has just dropped off a cliff for like all of those teams really that we've mentioned. Forest, Luton, and Huddersfield have been the only teams that have actually, looked like they want the playoffs and have actually, looked like they're playing well. The rest of the teams have been so inconsistent, so it is going to be really interesting to see. Sheffield United should do it. On paper, it should be Sheffield United, but go on, David. What are you going to say?
Are they like nervous or something? How do they like choke it so much? All of them.
Blackburn haven't recovered since kind of losing Brereton, and they have just the goals have dried up essentially. So I think that's the problem with them. Middlesbrough, the goals have dried up. QPR, it's the goals. QPR are the same. The goals have dried up completely, which is strange because they lost Willock to injury a while ago, which will have had quite an impact because he was one of their best players for a while. But they've still got a decent attacking side. They've got players like obviously Chair, Andre Gray, Dykes, Johansson. I'm surprised by how bad QPR have been, to be honest.
Yeah, it's weird. Like, I think the thing I've been most surprised about is like Huddersfield and how under the radar they gone in our game. Like, I don't think I've ever had a Huddersfield player this game. I think I maybe had Sorba Thomas at some point. But not even Toffolo.
Toffolo's flown under the radar. He's been a great pick. I know Angus has got him now. I think it's because they haven't had any double game weeks. That's been the main reason. I was thinking about Danny Ward a few weeks ago, but never really went there. And then I think he might have got injured, but he's certainly not playing now. Jordan Rhodes was up top yesterday. So
I think Thomas would have been picked a bit more if he was a mid.
Oh yeah,
Sorba Thomas.
Yeah. He played 100%. Like wing back at some point, I think. So like
I think he's playing more advanced now, but being a striker makes him less because we only have 3 striker spots.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I think he probably should have been classed as a mid, right?
Yeah.
Cool. Next question, David.
Next question. Let's see. We can take Abersek's question. He says, is it time to sell Fulham assets and focus on those playoff-chasing teams? And I'll just remind you of the score in the Fulham game. They are 3-0 up at 48 minutes right now.
And who's got the goals?
Mitrovic 2, Cavallo 1, and Harry Wilson has an assist.
Rip to my rank. I only have Mitrovic. He's my captain, but I only have him.
Yeah.
I don't know quite how that's happened. How I've ended up with only one Fulham, and it's. I think it's because I sold Cabano, and then I don't know what happened after that. Anyway, yeah. What do you guys think?
No. Straight up, no.
Yeah.
Same. I think they will play probably the same 11 for the rest of the season. Mitrovic to pump his goals up. Wilson to maybe get like a move to another Premier League club. Carvalho just to show Liverpool fans how good he is. I don't think they're going to change anything.
Yeah.
I don't see any reason to sell them.
It could go one of two ways, because obviously this means they'll have secured promotion tonight. They could either play more freely, Obviously, there've been a few poor results that they've had recently. They could just start putting a lot of goals past teams, or they could, obviously they've wrapped it up. They might drop their performances. It's going to be interesting because this double game week, the next all 4 of their fixtures, they're against teams that have a lot to play for. Bournemouth away, who have not wrapped up automatic promotion just yet. They probably will do it. Then they've got Forest looking to secure that playoff spot. Then they've got Luton. Then they've got Sheffield United.
In fact, all 4 teams are like teams just below them. So maybe there's a where they want to like prove themselves, and like I don't think any team wants to give a spot away for free to Nottingham or Luton or Sheffield either. So I don't think they're gonna just play the kids and don't care about the game. I think they're gonna just play the best team.
Like just, I agree with like just proving it, like we deserve to be in the Premier League. Like we're not going to slip up now, because why would they? They are doing so well, and they can just keep going. And I think this might not make sense to many others that are not playing Eliteserien, but I think they're like a bit like Bodø/Glimt, the team that went so far in the conference league and stuff. Like they played yesterday and they were winning like 3-0, but like playing if they were like leading like with 1, and they finally won like 5-1. And if you are like that team and you just play as you're the best you can, even if you have the win locked in, then you at least for fantasy purposes, that's the goal thing. Even if you know they are like nailed as well, you just have to have them.
Yeah. Just to play devil's advocate for a second, I wonder if some of the games might be quite tight. I feel like Bournemouth will be satisfied with a point. Forest, I don't know about Forest, because they may feel like they can still chase down Bournemouth, in which case they probably need to attack and try and win the game. But equally, from a playoff point of view, they would probably be happy with a point. Luton would probably be happy with a point with where they are in terms of the gap they've got down to 7th. And then it depends what Sheffield United win at the end of the season. So I'm just playing devil's advocate here. But maybe some of the games might be quite tight. Just a thought.
Just a quick question. If you don't have 3 Fulham, who would you get? I have Wilson and Mitrovic, and because I had Rodak for a while, I just had him as my 3rd, but now I don't have him.
Yeah, probably Wilson and Carvalho.
Williams is also a good option, because I think it's more likely that you don't have 3 doubling defenders than having 4 doubling mids. So
that's true.
Yeah,
because Carvalho he doesn't have set pieces like Wilson does, but I think he's more of he plays deeper than Wilson. I think he has been returning more recently, but I think Nico Williams is a fine alternative.
Yeah, absolutely, I agree. Yeah.
Yes. We can go on to Billy Hadaway's question. He asks, best differentials for the last 2 game weeks. 1 in each position, please.
Ooh, 1 in each position. Does this include goalkeeper?
Yeah, why not? We can just say 1 keeper quickly and just go on with it.
Shall we say 1 each for each position really quickly without any like real justification?
Yeah.
Goalkeepers. Do either you have one straight away?
For clean sheets, probably is it Daniels in goal for Borough? Yeah, Daniels.
Cool.
Yeah.
I'll say Samba. Why not? Yeah, I'll say Samba.
Yeah, and if we are going to like think of this as tight games for Fulham, maybe Rodak.
Okay.
If you want probably the best defense in the league. Yeah.
Defenders then.
I can start. I was thinking about talking about him when we talked about Middlesbrough, but I can say him now. Paddy McNair.
Is he a differential though?
Maybe not like on the whole, but I don't think like most people in top 100 have him. I'm not sure.
I'll allow it.
Probably one in three have him.
Really?
I'd say
Yeah.
so. Yeah.
At least in the top 10.
I haven't owned him
Mm.
once, but every now and again he
Same.
annoys me.
Yeah, he's a differential in the sense like you know he's good and you could have him, but you have other options. So his
Yeah.
if you're looking at ownership, maybe not, but like if you're considering him to other options that are not the same price, he could be a differential because you wouldn't necessarily pick him first.
Fair. Yeah. I'll say a Millwall defender. Who's the most attacking? Is it Murray Wallace?
Isn't
No,
it McNamara?
I think it's Malone and McNamara.
Okay. Oh yeah, Malone. Obviously, yes, Malone. I guess he's more expensive though. Depends if you want. If I'll say a
Yeah.
Millwall defender.
Yeah. I'll say Nat Phillips. I think they can keep clean sheets in those games besides Fulham, actually. And he has some set piece threats.
Cool. Yeah, it's a good shout. They've got the double as well. Yeah. Midfielders.
Yeah, I can start.
Go for it.
I'm not going to consider Bassi a differential because I think he's pretty obvious with the fixtures. So I'm going to go for Ryan Christie.
I was thinking of Bournemouth mid as well. Yeah. I think I'm going to...
I don't know who's the other Bournemouth mid.
Who's actually nailed from the others? I mean, Anthony, but he's a forward, isn't he?
Yeah, he is.
Low, I don't think he's nailed. I don't think any of them are nailed, really, apart from Christie.
And Billing, but he's not really a differential.
Billing gets booked. No, I don't think Billing's a great option anymore.
No.
He gets booked all the time.
He's a yellow card machine. So
yeah, I like your Christie shout, but I'm gonna have to go somewhere else now. No, you said that, so I will say, go on. If you've got one, David, go ahead.
I'm going to sound so much like myself now, and I'm going to say the main man, Mr. Phillips in Synchronagel, because I'm thinking of getting him just for the nostalgia pick, and because he's most likely not in Gaffr next year.
For what it's worth, I don't think he'll get benched again this season.
That's good.
I think he was a big miss against Luton, actually. With his creativity, it's a weird one because I think a lot of Forest fans find him really frustrating, especially his finishing. But Forest just looked better with him in the team. It's a strange one. Yeah, he was very good last night, though. He's very, very good last night. Okay, I'll say. See, I'm stuck now.
You could go for Cabano because I don't think anyone has him.
I don't think he's nailed enough. I think he rotates too much with
Reed plays now and then.
Yeah, I'll go. I mean, we've talked about him before, but I'll say James Garner on all the set pieces.
Yeah, fair.
Strikers.
I know who I'm going to say because I was so surprised that I saw someone actually having him.
Is it Mitrovic by any chance? He's differential, right?
No, a fellow, very good friend of the pod is always asking questions. Editor, he has gone real differential in all of his teams. It seems like in both FPL and Gaffr, and he has. Did he even captain him? I don't think so, but he has Andy Carroll, and he scored or something, I think.
Yeah, did you do quite well on, like, was it Good Friday? Might have been Good Friday.
Yeah, I think so.
Their fixtures aren't bad. Coventry, Reading, Barnsley.
And he's only 6 million for like West Brom.
That's a good. I like that, David. That is a proper out there differential shout.
Yeah.
I like it.
That's amazing. Maybe it wasn't. I'm not sure.
I can say mine.
Go for it.
Surridge.
Yeah, he'll be nailed now. I'll say. Okay, this is a bit out there. But Jordan Rhodes, because Huddersfield have some quite nice fixtures. Barnsley, Coventry, Bristol City.
I found it. He got 22 points as an emergency captain Friday. Freaking amazing.
That's mad. Or maybe Vyman. Actually, I'm going to change my answer to Vyman because Bristol City also have good fixtures. Cool.
Nice.
That's that question.
Yep. Let's see. We have. We can take the first of FPL Glasgow's question. He has sent us a screenshot and is asking which is midfield generals for this slot better than Captain and VC, Mitchell and Solanke. So he has Wilson, Johnson, Carvalho, Patterson, and Garner.
Depends what other boosts he's got. To be honest, it's quite hard to answer that question without knowing.
If he has Jeepers Keepers, then probably not. Maybe actually, I don't know.
Let's see. I can actually
I think we need to know what other boosts
he has. Jeepers Keepers left because he's played Goldfest and what's that one? Home Advantage he's used.
He's played Home Advantage. Okay, so does that mean he's got Goldfest left?
No, he has used that as well.
He's played Goldfest.
Goldfest.
Yeah, I'd go Jeepers Keepers because Mitrovic and Solanke could go off any double game week. So
yeah.
And I think, did he say who his mids? He had Garner. He had a couple of 5 million mids, didn't he? Like kind of.
Yeah, so, Carvalho and Patterson.
Yeah, that strikes me as one where midfield dynamos could go wrong. I mean, then they're all good options, but there's something like Patterson could just get a surprise benching out of nowhere, and then there's these kind of 5 million mids who.
Yeah,
only return a few games.
Can go really wrong. When I played it, I got like nothing.
Yeah,
and I had
I think I got 0 returns over 8 games.
Oh dear,
it's so bad.
I think mine flopped as well. Patterson, was it Patterson? Or did Patterson get anything in 40? I'm just going to bring it back up again now. Hang on. I had. It wasn't awful. It was basically Brennan Johnson, and then everybody else got less than 10, like before doubling. Yeah, play Jeepers Keepers. I'd say Glasgow.
Yeah, and we can also take the second to last question from Stoke Gaffr Kyle. He asks a question specifically for Alfred, so we're not allowed to answer this wrong.
Okay.
He said, "Hey Alfred, who is the best right wing back?" Oh, right, I read that wrong first time. Who's the best right wing back in the championship this season?
Yeah, so I don't know if he wants me to say Nathan Byrne or Spence, because he knows I love Spence, but he also knows I talked Byrne up before the season. I'm obviously gonna say Spence because I love him. Yeah, I think that's what he wants me to say.
That's the correct answer, Alfred. The correct answer. He's got all these awards. He's got Player of the Month, Goal of the Month, and was it in Team of the Week or something? And obviously, he is my ex-neighbour, so you've got to love him.
Yeah, best player of the Gaffr season for sure. Yeah, and I think that's all the Gaffr related questions. We always get like a fun question at the end. I love it. And it's also from Glasgow. This is our one. He asked us about honey badgers last time, and now he asks not a patch on the honey badgers question, but what color is time? What the heck, man?
Anyone a secret philosopher?
No.
or physicist.
Physicist. Could you find like the color of time? Yeah, I read that question. It was earlier. I was like, what is this? And first thing I thought about was yellow for no good reason. I don't know. That's my instinct, but yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I
Such a
don't.
weird
I don't
question.
have any educated answers. I'm just gonna say all of them.
All of them.
Ooh,
Don't
like the
mind that.
rainbow, maybe. Yeah.
I mean, do I say the kind of the scientific what I think might be the scientific answer, or just
Yeah. That's a nice counterweight for our.
time has no interaction with light. Maybe it does. Maybe there's some really advanced quantum physics stuff that goes on there. But, you know, time and light and colour are completely different things. So there is no colour. But if the question is what would you choose as a colour for time, I will say blue. And I have no reason for it.
we have the colors of Sweden, so that's a nice sentiment.
Cool. So that's all the questions. Am I right in saying?
All the questions. Yeah.
Wonderful.
Correct.
Let's very quickly look at our teams for Game Week 44 then, our bus teams, and then briefly kind of talk about what our plans are. So the first team is Alfred's team. What are your plans? Obviously, Jeepers Keepers.
Yeah, I'm gonna play Jeepers Keepers on Phillips and Travers or Fisher. So I'm gonna bring them in with my 2 transfers. And Bree is injured, and I don't really want to play McNamara or Kane. So I'm probably gonna buy a defender. I think Worrell or Nat Phillips.
Cool. And captaincy, Mitro?
Yeah, probably Mitchell, but I might go Bassi for the vice captain. I haven't decided yet.
Cool. All right. David, that's you.
Yeah.
Oh no, that's me. Sorry, that's my team. Didn't even recognise my own team for a second there.
Go on,
I am obviously have no boosts left, so I'm not going to be playing any boosts. I have got 1 free transfer, which I will probably spend in defence because, as you can see, I've kind of got a full complement of doublers in my attack. So I'll probably sell Bree. Probably, I'm going to say, I think, I haven't really given it much thought because like I said before, I'm on the beach in Gaffr. But if I was to decide right now, I would probably bring in McNair for Bree. I still have Zamora as well, but I don't think he'll be back. I think he'll still be injured, which is a shame. But I could sell him as well. But yeah, I don't think I'll take a hit. I'll just make the one move. Yeah. And captaincy, I'm tempted to go against Mitrovic because, yeah, I don't really care much anymore. I might go for Brennan. Might captain Brennan, but we'll see. David, sorry. Now it's you.
Yeah. I think I'll make 3 transfers this week. And while I was looking at it while we were talking, I was thinking about taking out Baker, so I just don't have that problem anymore. But I think I'll get Sinkernagel for Gibbs White because if I get Gibbs White, I will have like an even more benching problems. So maybe just save the cash and make it use it in the coming weeks. So that would be one. And as you said, Davis is pretty much a doubt, so I think I will take him out for Pirro. So I will have double Swansea attackers just to have both of them in case one of them goes mad. I think that could be a nice differential. And I think I will also get McNair for Greaves because he's like my bench in a way. So yeah, I think that will be my moves, and I will have lots of cash in the bank again. So it'll be interesting to see what I'm doing with that. But maybe like get Cabano for Baker or something in the next week, or just having flexibility for that. When it comes to captaincy, I'm not sure.
And it is at that point that the video just cut off. So, hi guys, this is Joel. The next day, the Wednesday, who I just came to edit it at this point and discovered this. I know exactly what's happened though, so hopefully it won't happen again. Apologies for that, but thankfully there was not very long left on the pod. David was just mentioning captaincy and that he was going to go a little bit different as it's coming towards the end of the season. I think he was talking about captaining Bassi actually. And then after that, all that was left to say was a big thank you to Alfred for coming on the pod. It really was great to chat to him. We really enjoyed it. He's a fantastic Gaffr manager. His knowledge of the championship is really strong. And yeah, it was great to hear from him and his thoughts as we go up to the last few game weeks of the season. And we wish him all the best in his quest for a top 5 finish. I hope you enjoyed the pod, and we will be back recording another Super League episode before the season is out, and then we will wrap things up for the 2021-2022 season and reflect a little bit on how things have gone this season and how we can improve the pod moving forward into next season. So any feedback you have, please do share, and we hope you've enjoyed it and that you finish the season strong and enjoy the football while we still have it. And we will see you very, very soon. Goodbye.